I'm in. Fight.
So we start again. So I asked you, and I think it's a logical agreement. Move your feet and make him chase and see if you can fatigue him. The reason, and Eddie Alvarez, when he fought Justin Gaethje, matched the enthusiasm, is you hope it might make him fatigue quicker. But you're right. He's so lit up, is Nurmagomedov, that if you try to match that early, you can find yourself looking at the lights. And it was a good strategy on paper and a terrible strategy in real life.
These knees seem to be like they're going to cause another
knee to the
groin strike.
So there's double unders against a judoka that's less of a victory than it is against many others. Like, it almost looks like Nurmagomedov invited those two double underhooks, would you say?
Yeah, but Brandao is doing a good job at just kind of maintaining enough distance with his hips and kneeing him. He seems to be trying to go up to have a higher double underhook and maybe just lock his hands.
Just wondering if the judoka is just like, go ahead, take it. You know, here, why don't you take these? And now he'll pressure both, and that pressures the shoulders and opens it up. And he takes him down. Yeah, it was a game. It was a game. It's a
Nice
dirty,
tap,
ornery game. It's a smart one.
So that's something that he's great at, putting his opponents against the fence and taking them down. And from here, just the ground and pound starts.
So, closed guard by Brandao Cruz, Mauricio Brandao Cruz. And he's pulling down on the back of the head, but still plenty of room for Nurmagomedov to throw some punches starting for now to the rib cage, and then opens up his upper body, the forearm to the throat.
Yeah, it looks very uncomfortable.
That's legal, and he's doing enough that he won't get stood up. As he also learns, there's kinesthetic learning in here, and he starts to understand the movements of Mauricio. We all have many different languages here, international, but I think we all understand heat, heat, heat. I think in any language, that's pretty good advice. One of the things I think people love about Aries is the international elements. You know, the beauty of the French culture, but also we have such a big array of different fighters of different backgrounds and nationalities, and each area expresses martial arts just a little more individually.
Good pressure from Nurmagomedov. I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do to win this fight, which is keeping Brandao on the ground, using his forearm to not allow him to really start any offense going.
And just a cool balance between doing enough to not get stood up, but not enough to open your man up to submission attempts. His hips are staying centered, but sometimes you stay centered and they stand you up because you don't do enough. He's doing enough. A little elbow here, punch to the ribs there, elbow across the top there.
Coming.
Oh, sliced him with that one and that one.
That was a big elbow over the top.
Gross. There's a gruesome cut somewhere. I believe it is on the right side of the face, maybe around the eyebrow. We'll see. It is on the right hemisphere because as he hit him across from right to left, these are bad. And you're right, Veronica, it's just been very methodical. Just do enough until you slowly fatigue him and then open him up and then rip his face apart. And yes, I realize how gruesome that sounds, but that is what's happening.
And he's switching the angle ever so slightly anytime Brandao tries to create any opening with his hips.
Oh, there's a lot of plasma, and you see it's that thick type. Nobody needs that, Robin Black.
I wonder if the doctors are going to say or allow this to continue. Those elbows
are bloodletting.
Yeah,
it's a crime scene. So we actually haven't seen the spot of the cut, but it will be on the right side of the face. See, now he sustains one to the left side. This is going to be all about the doctor if he survives these final 4 seconds. It's going to be all about the doctor here. Because Mauricio will continue, but whether or not he's going to be allowed to is now the question.
That was a great round from Nutulaev.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there. Yeah, so it is on the right side. It's up near the hairline. So it's not an issue of, you know, impairing his ability to see, but there's only so much blood. I don't care if you are a heavyweight. There's only so much blood we want to be released from the It's supposed to stay on the inside. It's not supposed to be on the mat. Yeah, and see, he gave up those underhooks and squeezed them down and rotated him. It's an old game, this judoka. He's a wily old guy. And he's not that old. It's just it's an old line of thinking. Ooh.
He did a great job at conserving energy and causing damage. So it's going past the first round, but the amount of damage that he caused, there.
Oh, it's squirting. Veronica, it's squirting.
Seconds out, seconds out, seconds out.
So the doctors, you know, we have a fantastic team of cut men here. Really, really do. The best in the game.
No.
And
Okay.
clearly they've dealt with that bullet hole on the side of his head. So do you think Nutulaev will try to hit it
Ready?
again?
Ready? Fight!
I would.
Yeah, of course he would, right? Watch for a left hook. Oh, no, just closes the distance. He's like, I'll get this guy down again, and I will do the exact same thing. If it takes 10 minutes, which he doesn't believe it will, he'll do it for the
Pushing
whole.
hard for that single.
Yeah. And actually, Brandao is doing a really good job of just being, you know. Oh, baby, now we'll see. Look at that crime scene to your left on the screen.
Just
That
going
is-
over that first round was crucial
Yes.
for Brandao.
And that's what he told you. That's what
Exactly. He just
told
has to
you.
weather that first storm there. He always
Had an arm
has
choke.
one.
He said he would weather the storm, and then he would go into his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu arsenal and end this fight. He's in the mount, and looking, the head and arm, I think, is gone. Also,
he
it's on the
just-
side where
yeah.
the cut is. Ah.
Just is not low enough under the chin. And I think Nutulaev is going to try and twist over, but since he's in mount and he hasn't gone to on what is effectively side control, there isn't much that you can turn onto.
One of the beautiful things about the head and arm choke is you stay low the whole time. It's not like an arm bar or something where you have to move and give something up. So, but that side, you're going to see all this blood now. So the side of his own head, the right side of his head, is what he's trying to use to squeeze the arm across. As such, even though our great cut men have done a pretty good job of shutting this thing off, it's going to start squirting and erupting.
It would be
That'll
nice
work?
for him
Yes.
to start just landing more strikes, but
Look, he's got
Nutulaev
the
has
hand.
that underhook.
So he's got the hand pinned. So yes, there's two things. That's an underhook, but also a squash, right?
He just has to have better strikes because I don't know if this referee is going to stand them up.
Better not. From mount, you really, that's a hard.
But
That's
he's calling for action.
I know. And we've seen it before.
Oh, they stood him up.
There's a lot of jiu-jitsu people losing their mind, not the least of which is Moiso Brandao Cruz's corner. Standing someone up from a mount is not out of line, but it's done sparingly.
Oh, cardio war, and that's just not what you want to do because you're going to end up in the same position where all the damage was caused on top of you.
And that cut.
That was not good decision making.
Yes. Although, I mean, if it landed and he was unconscious and he had the bonus, it would seem like it. But yes, in retrospect, it resulted in the worst consequence that he could possibly have asked for.
But, I mean, they both look pretty exhausted.
Yeah. But Nutulaev, where do you want to be if you're tired?
Yeah, no, and he can take his time, and he can go one elbow after the other, and just as long as the referee's seeing enough so he doesn't stand him up like he did for Brandao being on top. You know, I think it depends on the damage that he's seeing
Yeah.
from the
Work
fighters.
rate. Yeah, how much work is Nutulaev doing? I just commentated some grappling with strikes last week, and they do the opposite. If you're standing for too long, they make you go to the mat. Yeah. It's all, every variable is what makes combat so beautiful. The rule sets, you know, what you can and cannot do, the shape of the fighting environment, and all. You, as a fighter, you work within all of it. He's asking for action here as well. He gets a little. Let's watch the cut on that side.
just a lot of forearm to the throat, making it uncomfortable. And then when he sees that he can just get away from the pressure and land elbows, they're pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, even though his head was scraping against the arm as he tried to make that head and arm choke, he's not bleeding with the same enthusiasm that he was in round 1. That's pretty gory. Although, just as I said that, look at how caked that area of the head is. It's going to be a red shower after this. I mean, even when you win a short fight, sometimes it's a red shower. But
I just think Brandao doesn't have the energy to get back to his feet or to really go for any sort of submission or anything. But Nurmagomedov's elbows aren't as impactful as they were in the first round where he had a lot more energy. Everything's a lot just more labored.
But impactful enough to probably win the round. Because if we recall, when Mauricio was stood up, it was because he wasn't doing much.
Yes,
He
yes.
wasn't scoring much. Landed 28. One got away. But they're both landing because really they're both just so close to each other. One on top and the other, on the bottom. But
Ready?
Mauricio still has 5 minutes to win this fight. He's like, how about a hug? And then, nope, you cut my head open. It's like, yeah, but you kicked me in the groin. Oh, no.
Oh, and it's back to the position.
Just
right against the fence, bottom guard.
And that minute will make him fresh again. Minute of the break he's just come off.
Not only that, you're not as tired when you're in this position if you're Nurmagomedov because you got the takedown right away and you can sort of rest in between elbows coming down.
Oh, that's a slicer too.
Oh, right over where that cut is. Oh, several.
I don't. Yeah, this is a vicious, violent dude, man. When he is on top and he has the energy in him, as he does now, you can keep your guard all day long if you like. You're not going to get to move your hips because of his positioning, and then he's going to wind up elbows and slash your face open like we've seen. Now punching through the middle.
I feel like at this point, if he really just lets go of the strike, the referee might call it because there's not a lot of intelligent defense from Brandao coming. He's just really staying in the fight. He's trying to search for that wrist now, but it's hard because he doesn't have the angle to really attack anything.
Early UFC fights, or the middle age of UFC fights, they would always talk about how much harder it is when guys are sweaty and bloody. And we do overstate that because you also train sweaty, not bloody usually, but you do train sweaty, so it's part of something you're familiar with. But when somebody is coated in blood like this, it is harder for both men. So what is easier to do is maintain your position. It's harder to change it.
His corner is just very frustrated that he's not trying to get up and he's not trying to go for an attack. They just see a lot of just frustration from the lack of fight left in him.
As soon as he opens that guard to get up, he might put himself in more jeopardy of one or two really bad shots. But that's the trade-off you have to make. Oh, it's such a rough place to be for 12 and a half, much of the 12 and a half minutes of this fight.
And to think he had a moment when he was on full mount.
Yeah, with an arm squeezed and trapped.
But great job by Nurmagomedov to get back to the position that was causing him so much success. It was giving him so much success.
Yeah, this is what he likes. As gross as, and it's hard work, but you feel so strong, and it's psychologically, you feel dominant when you're on top like this, and you're slowly, methodically piecing somebody up and taking them apart. You're getting stronger, he's getting weaker. That sound, you can hear his lungs start to, he's breathing heavier. Yeah, I know, chunks, literally. It's starting to clot over there in the corner. It's a vicious, vicious art form, hand-to-hand combat.
It's just very slow and steady, so it's not enough for the referee to sort of say, okay, I'm going to step in here, but I mean, it's very damaging.
Very damaging.
How many more elbows is he going to take in this fight?
See now, pressing into his feet to be able to more power from the hip.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they just called this at this point.
No, I don't think anybody
There is no
would mind.
intelligent defense. They're just elbows. There we go. And there we get the stop.
And Mauricio's like, hey, man, I still have more in me. But we don't need to give you another minute to show how tough you are. You've shown it for 14 minutes, sir, and we thank you. But it is Nurmagomedov with a vicious, dominant alpha dog kind of victory. Look at the blood. You'll see the shot. When you see from our angle on the right side of the face, it is literally...
Referee Lloyd Potter stops the bout at 3 minutes 55 seconds of round 3 due to excessive strikes. Your winner by technical knockout, Azamat the Dragon